As a board, we are witnessing this transition from being a corporation whose services are only found at specific places away from the people. The story that the MD has narrated about this lady from Mwingi is symptomatic of many other stories, wherever it is in this country. Turkana, Kaloleni, from Kisii, Migori, or whatever it is. A lot of people, a lot of our citizens require these services, but they just can't reach them because they're too far off. Huduma centers, 59 of them now, offer us a huge opportunity to be able to be reached by a vast number of people. I mean, we've just learned that just this Makadara Center services 1,500 people plus. I believe the one at Teleposta does upwards of 10,000, I think, a day. And you can multiply that by whatever factor you want to get a sense of the universe that this relationship opens for us. And we are very happy that it is actually happening under our watch. So the coming together of these two world-class institutions represents this unity of purpose. But we can live here and the story ends. You know, we read it in Mtandao, we'll see it on TV or wherever. The work really starts now. The work of making sure that these services that we are offering are actually known, people are aware of these things, and that they do get encouraged to come over and do the bookings that we've told, the advertisements that they want to do, the funeral announcements that they need to make, you know, the public service messaging that can be offered, advisory support of people who are in agriculture, in education, in health, whatever it is that they are. These services are available through this desk that we have launched today and will be launching across the country to ensure that that conversation actually continues. I do expect that our team at KBC is going to amplify these messages through the senior managers sitting here, and that we will see and hear a lot of communication around the availability of this service so that actually that engagement that we want to see does happen. All the support that we have, our being here, my being here, and the PSS being here, is sufficient support that anyone requires to make sure that it is happening and that government stops being and will never again be seen as that strange animal that you only see at these formal, very formalistic presentations and events, and that after people leave, that's the end of the story. As they say, this event is simply just an event. It is a launch, but it's not the destination. If anything, it is the beginning of what I believe is going to be a very exciting journey as we seek to transform both the image of KBC and also that of Huduma Kenya, and make sure that we are actually responsive to whatever it is that we have been mandated to do. I think that as I conclude, again, the key purpose and key responsibility for us is to thank the teams because at the end of the day, you are the guys that actually do these jobs. And we do appreciate you as the boards. We appreciate the work you do. We appreciate the efforts that are being put and encourage you to go on doing what it is that you must do to make sure that the government does deliver on its promise to change this country. This is one step in that long journey, but it's a very remarkable step and one that we are very happy to be a part of today. I thank you very much for your attention. Congratulations again for the good work you're doing, both teams from KBC and Huduma Kenya. And we shall be coming around as my colleague and friend from Huduma Kenya says, to ensure that the 59 centers are actually operational as soon as possible. And certainly we want to do that as much as we can this part of the year so that as we start really getting into the messaging that we know we must do between now and August next year, these centers, these platforms are available to keep passing on those messages that this government is doing something different and that these changes can be recognized, can be felt, and they should be rewarded at the ballot next year. So thank you very much for your kind attention, and congratulations once again. It's now my singular pleasure to welcome our PS and chief guest to make his remarks and declare this event formally open and also close it. Karibu sana. Yes.
Let's get seated. Chair and CEO, first let me say that you have some two gentlemen in my office. I don't know what you gave them, but they always remind me that there is an event you need to attend. I remember this event was supposed to have taken place some times back, and I called it off last minute. And that gentleman behind you told me, why are you canceling this event last minute? And they have already prepared everything. So I told him it is okay, they will prepare another one. Today again, I was supposed to have been in the summit. But yesterday night, he kept on calling me that everything is prepared. Why don't you skip the summit? You go on 12th. So himself and there is another one called Maundu. In the morning, they came to me and they said, no, boss, just attend. So I decided to come today to attend this function. But I've converted them also to watch KBC. Because the reason why, before I read my statement, when I'm watching news in the evening, because I can watch in the office or I watch in the evening, first I look at the news anchor. If the news anchor is not giving me something, because they'll tell me, all of the channels will tell me the same stuff I want to hear. But there is one of them, I don't know whether God gave him that voice to attract people. And I believe he's going to transform KBC, and that one is none other than Tom Mboya. That is why we watch KBC. Chair and CEO, again, I started watching KBC again. Immediately, KBC was converted to government-owned enterprise, falling under me, and I told them that charity begins at home. And therefore, I always tell Victor and Maundu to tell our staff to make sure that we watch KBC, including these three people I see behind me. So, Dr. Jane Kere Mbunya, Principal Secretary, Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital Development, who was supposed to be our chief guest today. And I can tell you up to this morning, she told me that she was coming. Mr. Ben Kiai, Chelumo, CEO Huduma Kenya, representative of Nairobi Sub-County Commissioner, who is represented by Mr. Philip Koima, Chairman, KBC Board of Directors, Mr. Tom Shindi, the Managing Director, who always keep me awake because I know I get letters every day from KBC. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am pleased to join you today for the launch of this important partnership between Kenya Broadcasting Corporation and Huduma Kenya. This collaboration exemplifies the whole government approach that seeks to break down institutional silos and foster coordination across ministries, departments, and agencies for enhanced service delivery. It also aligns with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and contributes to the achievement of our national development goals. Ladies and gentlemen, the Huduma Kenya Service Delivery Program remains a key flagship initiative under Vision 2030. From inception, it has transformed services delivery to Kenyans by ensuring access to efficient, effective, and citizen-centered services through one-stop platform. Ladies and gentlemen, this partnership comes at a critical time for the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Following its transition into a government-owned enterprise under the Government-Owned Enterprise Act 2025, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation is undergoing significant restructuring. As KBC shifts toward a more commercially driven and sustainable model, strategic partnerships such as this one are essential. The partnership enables the corporation to leverage its strengths, expands its reach, and remains competitive in a dynamic media environment. Ladies and gentlemen, on its part, the government is actively supporting Kenya Broadcasting Corporation transformation through infrastructure upgrades and the implementation of comprehensive turnaround strategy aimed at enhancing efficiency and competitiveness. For over a decade since inception, Huduma Kenya continues to stand out as a flagship program under Kenya Vision 2030. Through the one-stop shop model, the program has transformed public service delivery by making services more accessible, efficient, and citizen-centered. Notably, the program has consistently achieved a high level of customer satisfaction. This is a statement to its commitment to service excellence, innovation, and accountability. And now that brings KBC services into Huduma centers. This partnership further strengthens the model. It eliminates barriers to access, enhances convenience, and improves the overall citizen experience. Ladies and gentlemen, National Treasury recognizes and appreciates the effort being made by Kenya Broadcasting Corporation to fulfill its mandates despite existing challenges. In this regard, I wish to assure the corporation of the government's continued support as it transitions into a fully fledged government enterprise. However, KBC must quickly put all hands on deck to ensure a swift transition, because going forward, you will be expected to operate commercially in a rather competitive environment, but I know that you have what it takes to achieve this, CEO. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, this partnership is a practical demonstration of how collaboration can drive efficiency, improve service delivery, and create value for citizens. And I want to urge all of you to continue watching KBC, advertise all what you want to advertise through this channel, and also encourage wale watu wako mashinani to watch KBC, because KBC is the only station that can give you exactly what you want to hear. And with those few remarks, thank you and may God bless you.
Let's give our chief guest another warm round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our chief guest, for your kind words. And please accept our heartfelt gratitude. You found time to come, and your insights have really encouraged and inspired us. So I want to thank you so much. May I also thank the board of KBC, Tom Chindi, for reminding us that the real work starts now and that we have to roll our sleeves beyond the launch today. Thank you so much, our CEO, Agnes Kaleche, for that powerful story, the girl from Wingi. And that obviously, according to the board chair, is also reflective of the entire community in Kenya. I also want to say a special thank to the Chief Executive Officer of Huduma Center, CPA Ben Chelumo. Thank you. Thank you. When you were speaking in the national language, I wondered how great it would be to start teaching science in Kiswahili. So I want to thank you so much for your remarks. Of course, let me also thank the members of staff of both organizations, Huduma Center and the only national broadcaster, KBC. Give yourselves a round of applause. Chief guest, a lot of work happens in the back end, but we news anchors get the glory. So these are the people who ensure that the cogs behind the machine move. So I want to thank all of them. We're going to go for a photo shoot, and I know members of the media also want to ask some questions from our distinguished guests. But perhaps before we do that, may I ask that the corporate affairs team from Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, they have a little token. It is African always to recognize and thank the distinguished guests for finding time off their very busy schedules to come and be with us on such occasions. So this is the team from corporate affairs at KBC. I don't know how you want us to move this. Okay, all right. So she's saying standing up and sitting is a great way of exercising. And so we will be asking our distinguished guests in no particular order. I have got permission from her, starting with our chief guest, just to come and join us here so that alongside let's give a round of applause to our chief guest, Santi Sana. Small gift so that, thank you very much, thank you. Asante Sana, members of the Fourth Estate, always very careful to get the best angle. I want to thank you. Let's give our chief guest a round of applause. Let me ask the CEO Huduma Center to also join us so that tuseme asante sana kwa kutuhost hapa hivi. Asante sana. Thank you. Excellent. Let me also ask the regional to come and also join us. Asante sana. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. Thank you. Let me ask our board chair just to come and you'll also tell us the secret of aging backwards. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Makofi. And I will ask our MD to join us also and just receive a token of appreciation. Yeah, thank you, CEO, for leading us very well. Let's give all of them a round of applause. Thank you very much. So as we come to the end of this wonderful event, may I ask that, I think we cut to the cake first, isn't it?
You know, that is an event ongoing live from Makadara here in Nairobi County. And that is the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation has, of course, partnered with Huduma Kenya, or Huduma Center, if you like. Earlier on was PS, Public Investments and Assets Recovery, or Assets Management, Public PS rather, Cyril Odede Wagunda, and of course, Tom Shindi, the chairperson of KBC Board, and of course, our very own Managing Director, Agnes Kaleche, and various top managers of Kenya Broadcasting Corporations right there in Makadara. And before we continue, let's take a very short commercial break. Don't go too far, still so much more lined up for you.
Wagwan my guys, it's your boy Sean MMG Skiza mage na tuko hapa Grapevine manze, good vibes ukitucheki hapa hivi.
Inspired by the story of Wayaki Wahinga, the musical play revisits the journey of one of Kenya's earliest symbols of resistance. Alchemist in Westlands transformed into a battleground of pure adrenaline as Anza MMA's Amateur Fight Night 008. Chris Barr brought smooth melodies and captivating stage presence, drawing the audience into a performance that felt both personal and powerful.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health,
someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about the viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good Morning Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya. Every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1. In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
And welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News here on KBC Channel 1. My name is Giverson, Maina, and of course, the sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. And straight away, I want to take you to the University of Nairobi, where our very own Alan Aoko is on standby to bring us to speed on matters. Africa Forward Summit that was early, or rather kicked off in the morning today. Alan Aoko, if you can hear me, early in the morning, President William Ruto, and of course, his France, or rather counterpart from France, that is Macron, they engaged the young entrepreneurs and of course innovators. What are we expecting maybe in the afternoon or tomorrow?
Bon après-midi, je m'appelle Alain Aoko. As they say from our counterparts, the French, who are co-hosting the Africa Forward Summit here in Nairobi. Right now, we are at the University of Nairobi, just next to the Taifa Hall. That is the place the two presidents, namely Dr. William Ruto and the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, met in the hall. That is the place where they congregated and met delegates from far afield, talking with the youth who were present mostly at the Taifa Hall. The Taifa Hall event was only meant for the youth and how they are engaging in business, whether it's in digital technology, digital transformation, agri-tech, innovation. That is where the youth were meeting. And the presidents did talk to them and they managed to hear from the youth. And that started very early in the morning. That was the first event for us here at the University of Nairobi. The youth came in their numbers, various CEOs from out of Africa and within Africa, talking about how they started their small startups, talking about the challenges they go through every day in making sure they make a profit and also employ other youth. President Ruto did talk about how Kenya is streamlining its education sector just to make sure that the youth here do innovate and continue to bring more growth in the economy, leaving away the issue of stressful exams and cramming data just for one singular exam. He said that Kenya is working on streamlining its entire education sector to make sure everyone has an opportunity to do what they feel like doing and also do it very well without the pressure of having to cram exams or a paper because of pressure coming from above. And Emmanuel Macron, on his part, also was very impressed with how Kenya runs its affairs when it comes to bringing together this kind of innovation. Remember, Kenya is known as the Silicon Savannah, and therefore the innovation that comes from here was very impressive to our guests. He said that Kenya is doing the right thing in pivoting itself into this sector. He also talked a bit about the theme of this summit, which is on an equal footing, looking at Africa as equal partners rather than people looking for aid or help. President Emmanuel Macron was also echoing what President Ruto has said many times before, that there is a need to change the financial architecture of the African nations, especially when they are going to look for capital for development projects and so on and so forth, saying that it is not fair that we always have to go onto the table at a disadvantage, especially when African countries are rated differently with a lot of risk when getting this capital. And Mr. Ruto also, President Ruto said that indeed that is why this summit is very timely, bringing together all these stakeholders in one place. And remember, this is the first time this summit is being held in an Anglophone country, and it is historic. This summit is meant to bring stakeholders from manufacturing industry and everyone on that sector, especially the captains of industry, the CEOs, the director generals from state agencies within and without the country. And we are looking at several themes, looking at the green energy transition, looking at peace and security, looking at AI and digital transformation. These are just some of the thematic areas that we expect to be talked about in this summit, talking about issues regarding job creation and health and innovation as well. These are topics that are thematic areas in this summit. And we also expect several other business deals. Remember, this is a summit that is bringing about more than 1,500 businesses onto the same table to talk about what opportunities Africa has to offer, what opportunities Kenya has to offer to the world and beyond. And of course, we will be bringing you more details in our subsequent bulletins as we continue to cover these stories on online platforms and everywhere. on KBC Channel 1. Looking forward to also updating you more on what happens. We are continuing up to the evening, so don't you worry, we have you covered. We have more coming right to you. Back to you in studio.
Merci beaucoup, our very own Alan Aoko reporting from the University of Nairobi. And of course, that particular summit will be going on tomorrow. And Emmanuel Macron of France and of course, President William Ruto will be leading a heads of state meeting at the Kenyatta International Convention Center on Tuesday. And now from that, residents of Kwapunda in Jomvu Sub-County, Mombasa County, have raised concerns over the poor state of county feeder roads in the area, saying the impassable roads have disrupted essential services and exposed them to danger during emergencies. Now, speaking during a protest meeting, or rather protest, the residents led by Veronica Carissa, a community health promoter, said medical emergency cases have become difficult to handle because vehicles cannot access the area. They have urged the county leadership to accelerate road improvement and strengthen transport systems in the area.
Changamoto ile tunapata hapa, kama mimi ni mhudumu wa afya nyanjani, kukiwa kuna mgonjwa au kama kuna mama anataka kujifungua, inabidi tumbebe na mkeka, sababu hili mbora haipandi na kuna gari inaweza shuka au ikapanda au pikipiki.
Security ile ya serikali iko Mikindani, wakija waangalia hizi nyumba za barabarani kule chini kwenye kuna maporomoko hawafiki.
Na sisi tunataka tuambie viongozi tutengenezee shule hapa. Hakuna shule yoyote yenye tuko nayo, hakuna stima pale, wamama wanateseka pia na hii mambo na barabara.
Now, a section of Laryngectomy patients in Kenya have raised concern over increased cases of stigma, rejection and discrimination despite surviving cancer and undergoing life-saving surgery. Now, laryngectomies are people who have had their voice box surgically removed, usually due to cancer, now resulting in permanent changes to speech, breathing and swallowing. Take a look.
Was diagnosed with cancer of the larynx in 2010. He says the surgery changed his life, forcing his wife and kids to abandon him. But he is not the only one. Bishop Mbogo Nduwati says he started losing his voice and he thought it was just a normal flu.
Initially, I never knew what was happening. I thought it was cold because of loss of my voice. And I thought also something is because of preaching, talking too much.
The survivors say the condition has affected their normal lives, from loss of taste to that of smell and others.
You cannot walk alone at the night. You cannot stay where there is smoke. If the weather changes, you start coughing.
Speaking during a laryngectomy patient support meeting, Dr. Faith Githi, a specialist, attributed most cases of laryngeal cancer to excessive use of cigarettes, alcohol and other risk factors.
Than in females. And this one is mostly associated with the lifestyle and the habits that male gender is associated with, like smoking, alcohol, and also exposure to chemicals. The age of 50-55 is the most common age. However, even younger people, they can still suffer.
The survivors called for an end to stigma associated with the condition.
There's something slightly odd or different about you that you're a problem, and then that's how stigma starts. There's also the stigma from the lack of communication, because you cannot communicate without the voice box. People now assume like you're cognitively challenged. They want to communicate for you. They want to say things on your behalf, but it doesn't have to work that way.
Kasichana Masha, Lunchtime News.
Now matters politics. A section of Kenya Kwanza Alliance lawmakers say President William Ruto should be allowed time to deliver on his promises. Now telling off government critics, the leaders including Kiambu County Woman Representative Anne Wamuratha and her Kericho County counterpart said the president's term of 5 years is still running and his achievements can only be weighed after end of his tenure. Speaking at Kaki Bay Girls in Kericho County during a Thanksgiving ceremony, the Kenya Kwanza allied legislators said the government has made tangible progress in various sectors, including tarmacking of roads.
Kwa hivyo hata huyu miaka mitatu barabara zenye William Ruto amejenga zimepita zenye zilijengwa na Uhuru Kenyatta na Kibaki wakiwa pamoja. Tumpatie nafasi, miaka yake 5 ishe, tumuongezee ingine 5, amalize agenda yake, aende na yeye, mulete huyo mwingine mwenye mnataka.
Kericho County Woman Representative Beatrice Kemei saying President William Ruto's administration has made remarkable achievement in the education sector, where thousands of teachers have been hired to fill the gap.
We are also worried with the 115,000 who actually never continued in grade 10. Tunaomba everybody concerned to come forward na watusaidie sana wanafunzi to be retained in school.
Meanwhile, in Nyamira County, Governor Amos Nyaribo has called for unity of the country ahead of the 2027 elections.
If we unite, whichever again we do, with whichever formation, it will be strong and it will be hard.
Speaking at Kitutu Central Ward, Kitutu Church South, Nyaribo also condemned the disruption of funerals and political gatherings by hired goons for political expediency.
Nimeona watu wanaenda wanaharibu matanga ya watu kwa sababu ya wametofautiana kisiasa na wajue purpose iliwachukua huko ni nini.
Elsewhere, Garissa Township constituency politics is steadily taking shape, with various aspirants entering the ring, including veteran politician Nasir Dola Mohamed.
Kwa miaka 20 na mpaka wa leo niko kwenye debe. Juzi kulikuwa na maktaba ambayo imetoka kwa mti ya Auliahan na nimesema kwamba hatukubaliani na hiyo matokeo.
2017 wazee walikaa wakamshawishi na akakubali kuachia kiti Mheshimiwa Farah Maalim ambaye alikuwa amekubali ajaribu. Na mimi najua ni mtu ambaye anasikiza watu sana.
And our President William Ruto has assented to 3 new bills, namely the Income Tax Bill 2026, the Special Economic Zones Amendment Bill of 2026, and the Technopolis Bill 2024 at State House Nairobi. But the new laws are streamlining Kenya's regulatory framework to strengthen the country's position as an attractive investment destination by creating a more efficient, predictable, and competitive business environment.
Before you, these 3 vellums.
The Income Tax Act seeks to provide for exemption from capital gains tax where there is a transfer of property by a company to its shareholders as part of an internal reorganization, or on the transfer of property to the company by the shareholders as consideration for the transfer. Before the enactment of this law, the transfer of property between a company and its shareholders attracted 15% capital gains tax under the Income Tax Act, even though the transaction did not involve external parties and there was no gain. The Special Economic Zones Act seeks to enhance Kenya's competitiveness by expanding the scope of special economic zones to include oil and gas zones and harmonizing the tax incentives applicable to entities undertaking activities within the zones. The Technopolis Act establishes a comprehensive legal framework for the creation, development, and governance of Technopolis in Kenya. It also seeks to position Kenya as a leading destination for technology-driven enterprises, innovation, and research by establishing integrated one-stop hubs for the efficient delivery of government services. Kamchemenza for Lunchtime News.
The Principal Administrative Secretary, State Department for Internal Security and Natural Administration, Beverly Opora, has urged the chiefs and police officers to intensify the war on illicit brew that has now become a national disaster. Now, Opora says, according to a survey carried out by the Interior Ministry, 70% of the inmates in the country's correctional institutions were found to be rapists, claiming they found themselves caught up in the offense after taking illicit brew or bang. She also challenged parents to mentor their children into responsible adults to ensure a secured future for the country.
Carpets, handbags, and other interior decor items. Using simple wooden weaving machines and hand processing techniques, the women have transformed the craft into a community business that supports their daily needs. According to the group's chairperson, Sarah Mukiri, the weaving skills were introduced to them by a Norwegian trainer.
Alifunza wamama wa kutoka.
Our apologies for that story. We retake it again. The Principal Administrative Secretary, State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, Beverly Opora, has urged the chiefs and police officers to intensify the war on illicit brew that has now become a national disaster. Opora says, according to a survey carried out by the Interior Ministry, 70% of the inmates in the country's correctional institutions were found to be rapists, claiming they found themselves caught up in the offense after taking illicit brew or bang. She also challenged parents to mentor their children into responsible adults to ensure a secured future for the country.
Wenye wanafanya hiyo maneno wanakuwa wamekunywa pombe. Ukienda katika jela zetu sahi, PS Dr. Muhana, 90% of the people who are there wanasema either walivuta bangi ama wakakunywa pombe ndio wakatenda uhalifu. Jihadhari na pombe haramu na madawa ya kulevya. Tafadhali tuanze kunena na watoto wetu. Tuanze kukuwa na nidhamu katika nyumbani kwetu. Hakikisha eneo letu la Bungoma Central hakuna madawa ya kulevya na hakuna pombe iliyo haramu.
Now listen to this. A group of elderly women in Meru County is defying economic hardship by turning traditional weaving skills into a source of income and empowerment. The women under the Maina Women Group are using sheep wool to make a variety of household and decor products, helping them support their families while preserving a unique craft. Take a look.
For these elderly women in Meru County, weaving has become more than just a skill. It is now a lifeline, helping them earn a living amid rising economic challenges. The 22 members of the Maina Women Group use sheep wool sourced from farmers in Timau to make floor mats, carpets, handbags, and other interior decor items. Using simple wooden weaving machines and hand processing techniques, the women have transformed the craft into a community business that supports their daily needs. According to the group's chairperson, Sarah Mukiri, the weaving skills were introduced to them by a Norwegian trainer.
Alifunza wamama wa kutoka around municipality na kutoka Maua, tukaunganishwa pamoja, tukaanza hii chama. Sasa shida ile tuko nayo ni ya kuuza bidhaa yetu.
Hii kazi nilifundishwa, sio kusoma sana, ni Mungu tu. Mimi baba yangu alikataa kunisomesha, ile klasi 7 ni mimi nilikuwa wa mwisho. Ile klasi 7 ni mimi nimefunga. Sasa baba yangu akakataa kunisomesha. Ndicho nikajua nilijua kuweka rangi, nilijua kusokota hata uzi na hata kapeti najua, kila kitu najua.
The women say the business has helped them reduce dependence on relatives and enable them to provide for their families despite declining sales in recent years.
Kwa tukitegemea tu wanaume na wanaenda hata wao wanakosa kazi. Tukaona hata wacha hata sisi tuwe tunaweza kujisaidia ili tuwe tunapelekea watoto mikate ama tukasaidia upande mmoja ama mwingine.
Mimi nategemea hapa tu nasomesa watoto wangu watatu.
They're now appealing for support in marketing their products while encouraging more women and young people to venture into income-generating activities.
Saa hii hakuna kazi kwa sababu hatuna customer. Kama tukipata customer, tumepata pesa.
Tunaendelea na hii kazi, lakini siku hizi tunaona inaendelea polepole kwa sababu ya kukosa market. Wako nyumbani wakisema wana kazi, washunge na kazi kidogo kidogo ya wamama, wakae pamoja, wasifunze.
Dr. Joyce Kidhure has underscored the need to continuously empower women by creating environments where they can thrive economically. Now, speaking in Nairobi, where she hosted over 1,000 women from different parts of the country, Dr. Kidhure, who is also the patron of Save Communities initiative, called on women to take up roles and make a change to their communities through government-empowered initiatives rolled out across the country. Her sentiments were echoed by Blue Economy Principal Secretary Betsy Njagi, who urged women to venture into the blue economy sector.
Every society stands strong on the sacrifices, prayers, wisdom, and resilience of mothers. As we celebrate this beautiful day, let us continue to promote unity in families, peace in our communities, and hope for future generations. Many mothers continue to face economic challenges, health struggles, emotional stress, and the responsibility of raising children in a rapidly changing world.
From where I sit now is to have all these young people with jobs, especially within the blue space, which is the open space there. And I am praying relentlessly for God to open a gate for me there, so that within the blue economy, within the cruise ships, we may be able to get the jobs.
Now let's get to business. The East African Development Bank has launched a new 1.9 billion shillings fund to support youth and women-led enterprises. East African Development Bank Acting Director General Bernard Mono says the kitty is part of the efforts to drive inclusive growth across East Africa. Now, speaking during the bank's governing council meeting in Kampala, Uganda, Mono said the cash would be channeled through partner financial institutions across member states.
There is a fund that the Governing Council approved today. We agreed that part of our profits that we made in this year and part of other funds that we held, we dedicate them towards starting a fund that will specifically lend to youth and women in the region at a very affordable cost, which will be converted in local currency in all member states and lent through the partner financial institution to businesses that are run by youth and women.
Now, APS Bomet head coach Sami Pamzo Omolo has been named the Sport Pesa League Coach of the month for April, marking a standout period for both the tactician and his resurgent side. Now, Mara Sugar head coach Francis Javier finished as the run-up for the monthly award after also guiding his side to 3 wins, albeit from 1 additional fixture.
Seen a remarkable turnaround at APS Bomet, guiding the team through a challenging stretch of the season with resilience and consistency. His recognition comes during a deeply personal time following the loss of his wife earlier this year. Receiving the award on the Mother's Day, Pamzo delivered an emotional tribute dedicating the honor to his late wife, affectionately known as Mama Denzel, while acknowledging the support of the family and team.
You know, I've been in this league for a long time, and we were really struggling. Until Sportspesa came in. And this is a very big morale booster for all the teams. And you guys have really done a very good job.
On the beach, APS Bomet enjoyed a flawless April, registering a 100% win record. The team secured victories over Sofapaka, Ulinzi Stars, and Posta Rangers, Omolo's former club, keeping clean sheets in all 3 matches.
I really want to dedicate this award to my wife, my late wife. She just left us 5 months back, and she was very inspiring to me, and she really helped me. She has been really helping me through this journey when she was around, and of course I miss her.
Wana mavijana wanajituma. We've awarded Kevin Wangaya as Player of the Month of Nairobi United, and he's delivered 3 goals and 3 supports for his team, directly winning 7 points. Na leo pia tumekuja ku recognize Pamzo, or better say Sami Omolo, coach of APS Bomet. Na pia yeye tumeona venye amepeleka timu yake in the month of April, winning all the 3 matches.
Mara Sugar head coach Xavier finished as the runner-up for the monthly award after also guiding his team to 3 wins, albeit from the 1 additional fixture.
Now, Nairobi is hosting a high-level workshop on the Animal Resources Information System, gathering experts from across Africa to strengthen livestock disease surveillance and animal health data systems. Officials from African Union, Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, World Organization for Animal Health, and the European Union have underscored how reliable data is critical for effective livestock planning and disease control. Take a look.
They are based on evidence, and therefore we have to provide evidence from data that is accurate, complete, harmonized, and effectively used.
Early detection, which in this case, and outbreaks of diseases, protection of human health, disease detection also go in tandem with improved animal productivity.
It is important to notify emerging diseases as well, so that we can collect information about the extent of these diseases, the trends, and so that we can make informed decisions to say, is this the disease has to be listed by OHA, so that we can develop standards for its control and management.
So more you use the system to collect.
Now, Egypt is strengthening its cargo corridor with Italy and the rest of Europe as instability in the Strait of Hormuz pushes countries to seek safer freight routes linking Europe, the Gulf and Africa. Now, the route has emerged as a possible lifeline as disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz continue to destabilize the global economy. Here are the details of this and other stories in our Business Roundup.
Roll-off cargo route that was launched in 2024 links Italy's Trieste port on the Adriatic Sea with Egypt's Damietta port on the Mediterranean. The sea route has now been extended, with containers transported either by land or through the Suez Canal to Egypt's Red Sea ports and onto Gulf markets, including the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Oman and Qatar. However, the roll-on roll-off cargo link cannot fully replace the Strait of Hormuz. The drawback is that containers are being loaded and unloaded several times during the trip, limiting volumes that can be transported. Meanwhile, concerns over the risks posed by artificial intelligence have loomed large over a U.S. trial pitting Elon Musk against Sam Altman, co-founders of OpenAI. The trial centers on OpenAI's 2015 founding as a non-profit that later evolved into a for-profit venture. Musk, co-founder of OpenAI, filed the case in August 2024, accusing his fellow co-founder Altman of breaking promises to keep the company a non-profit. Musk is seeking $150 billion in damages and the removal of Altman and Greg Brockman, another OpenAI co-founder and president of the company. Altman in turn accused Musk of trying to hobble the ChatGPT maker for the benefit of his own AI company. Finally, Yemen is experiencing a devastating decline in local wildlife populations due to the prolonged civil war and a severe humanitarian crisis. Environmentalists and ecologists are raising urgent calls for public attention to wildlife protection, warning that many endangered species could face extinction without effective conservation measures. The Yemeni government has identified 57 critical ecological areas, with many of them recognized by international organizations as vital habitats for globally endangered birds, such as the Seka falcon, the peregrine falcon, and Arabian woodpecker.
Now I want to return you to the University of Nairobi. This is where Africa Forward Summit 2026 has been ongoing, and on this particular area of focus in sports and culture. Our very own Bernard Okumu is live at the University of Nairobi. Bernard, if you can hear me, bring us to speed. What's going on there?
At Broadcasting House, and welcome to the University of Nairobi grounds, where we have a high-level sports sequence event, and it's Sport in Africa, a field of the future. And let us listen to the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, Mr. Shadrack Maluki, giving his remarks.
Mr. Paul Teregat, IOC member and a representative of IOC President in Kenya, Mr. Frederick Figurus, Mayor of Miramas, Mr. Wesley Rotich, Governor of Elgeyo Marakwet County, partners in sports, members of the fourth estate, and most importantly, all athletes and sports persons.